What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And I've got some new releases, guys, to go through and show off. I've got some Shout Factory, Shout Select pickups that I want to show off. I've got a few other random things. I've got an Arrow video release. I've got some subscriber mail. So we're going to get into just a full-on collection update. But before we get into it, and a couple of reviews in here as well. But before we get into it, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and then, leave me a comment down below. What have you been picking up lately? Did you partake in any of these recent sales? Let me know in that comment section below. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We got a lot of stuff to get through. Let's start off with this movie that I just watched last night for the first time in a couple of years. I actually watched this a couple of years ago when it first came out on 4K, and that is Get Off My Plane, Air Force One, this beautiful steelbook from Sony. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the J card. I can show you the back of the J card real quick. It's honestly not, too interesting. You got Harrison Ford right there. You got Gary Oldman down there. So I guess that's pretty cool. And you got the cast at the bottom. And yes, this does include, they did add in Dolby Vision on this 4K steelbook. Now, the Dolby Atmos was, did I point to the wrong thing? The Dolby Atmos was already present on the 4K that came out back in, I believe that 4K came out in 2018. I could be wrong. Maybe it was 2019. But just a beautiful steelbook. I absolutely love the artwork. Like, everybody is hyped up on Lionsgate right now, and rightfully so. They do great steelbooks. Sony, is really upping their game on just their artwork, I think. This is freaking spectacular. This is really great artwork. I love, Harrison Ford, Gary Oldman, Glenn Close, William H. Macy, which I watched this again, like I said, again, and I guess I just never really noticed how small William H. Macy's role is in this movie. He's got a couple of brief moments to shine, but he's really kind of in the background in this film, just making random facial expressions. It's you got William H. And this is the same year he did Boogie Nights. So I know he was a notable star this time. It's you got William H. Macy do more with him in this movie. But anyway, but look at the back. I love the back of that. That is spectacular with the freaking fighter jets and the targeting thing right there. That is awesome. But yeah, this has got a real nice kind of glossy shine to it. And just a real nice feel to it. I'll go ahead and show off that spine right there. Get Off My Plane. God, I love this movie so much. This is a movie that I remember seeing in the theaters when it came out. This is a big movie for me. I was so into all the 90s action movies. I loved them all. But this was one of my favorites. One I rewatched over and over again. I was Han Solo freaking kicking ass as the president. Is it kind of a Die Hard ripoff? Yeah, it kind of is, but pretty much a lot of action movies were kind of like that post Die Hard. But I need to rewatch Die Hard. I keep saying that all these movies like Speed and Air Force One are better than Die Hard. I honestly have not seen Die Hard in 15 years. I really honestly need to go back and rewatch the movie. I'm sure it's great, and I need to quit talking crap about it. But I love Air Force One. It's super nostalgic for me, and I think Harrison Ford's great in this movie. I rewatch it. Every time I rewatch this movie, I just get so caught up in it, and I love it. All the action. I love the initial, takeover of Air Force One. I just think it's so freaking tense and thrilling. And Gary Oldman's just such a menacing villain in this movie, and I love Harrison Ford as the president in this film. I think he's awesome, and as this character, just super heroic and great. So yeah, again, that's kind of my review of the movie. Well, let's talk about real quick. I'll get into the unboxing of it. It looked great, the 4K. I remember the 4K looking great when I watched it a few years ago. Now, again, I did have my old 4K TV when I watched it, so I watched this for the first time on my new TV, which is a 65-inch LG C2 model OLED TV. And for the first time with the Dolby Vision, and I can honestly say I've never seen Air Force One look like this before. It looked spectacular. And I don't know if it's my new TV or if it's the Dolby Vision, but it definitely looks significantly better than the 4K that I remember watching a few years ago. Looked great. The detail on the faces was great, but just this movie has some great aerial combat sequences. I didn't remember all the fighter jets coming in and all the explosions and all that stuff just looked so good in the 4K. Everything looks great. It's just super clean, crystal clear, and it's one of the better 4K transfers I've seen. This movie deserves it, in my opinion. So it looked great, but the Atmos as well, spectacular. That score I think Jerry Goldsmith did the score to this movie, I'm pretty sure. But that score, that Jerry Goldsmith score, is freaking awesome. I love it so much. But when it's blaring and bopping and bouncing, it sounds spectacular with Dolby Atmos. And all the action sequences, the gunfire, like there's a lot of sequences of gunfire in this movie. Very action-packed film. All sounds great, like that Dolby Atmos. And again, I'm just listening to it on the soundbar with the subwoofer that simulates the Dolby Atmos, so I don't have the proper setup. I'm sure it sounds even better with the proper setup. But I just loved it, got so into it. So that's my little kind of mini review of Air Force One. Let's go ahead and open the steelbook up. And, you know, I didn't rush to get into the interior artwork of this because it's a Sony steelbook and they don't do interior artwork. That's the one thing I wish Sony would do with these. But I'll show you the disc art. I'm pretty sure it's the same disc art that was present on the other ones. You do get the 4K and you get the Blu-ray disc in here. And yeah, it's just a blue interior, but that's okay. That's okay. And we'll go ahead and show you the full scope of this release. And you also have a digital code. And I'm pretty sure that both this and the next one I'm getting ready to talk about are only $24.99. I'll link those down below if you want to get these. But my goodness, so worth it in my opinion. Again, I got the 4K. And it's possible the 4K probably looks, you know, just as good. It's just I watched it on the older TV. But with the Dolby Vision, I'm telling you, it just really stood out to me. I really thought this looked great on 4K. So if you don't have this movie at all in your collection, like this is a no-brainer. Pick this up. It's a great steelbook and a great 4K for sure. I do wish that Sony would give you the option, though. If they're going to add in Dolby Vision, maybe you don't want to spend the money to get the steelbook. You know, re-release the 4K with the Dolby Vision, maybe with a new slipcover or something like that alongside that, and give people the option. That's my only kind of gripe there. I also got the Mask of Zorro, and I remember when this came out on 4K the first time. That was actually when I was first starting, like really starting to get this channel going. My first couple of episodes of the Physical Media Report, I think I was talking about the Mask of Zorro on 4K. So that's how far back that goes. I remember picking it up and I watched it on 4K. I thought it looked great. It was definitely the first time I had seen it in like 15 years or something like that when I watched it. And it was great. This is such a great movie. Like this is not just I'll say the same thing about Air Force One. This is not just a nostalgia movie. Like this is a movie that really holds up. The performances in this movie are freaking great. I think Antonio Banderas is awesome. You got Anthony Hopkins, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Like there's some real like emotional beats in this movie that I think still play today. The action's so great. The comedy's really great. It's just a great adventure movie. And admittedly, I haven't seen the older like Zorro like TV show or the older Zorro movies. This is the only iteration of Zorro that I've seen. But I think Antonio's great as the character. I just love him. And Anthony Hopkins as well. It's a real emotional movie that's just action-packed and just freaking awesome. I love The Mask of Zorro so much. It's one of my childhood favorites. But I love how they, you know, with the Air Force One, they more or less, you know, did some cool fancy artwork. But with this one, they more or less just did the old school like poster look to it, which I think works as well. It looks great on a steelbook. And then you got Antonio Banderas on the back as Zorro. I love the villain in this movie too. He's great as well. And then you got the Mask of Zorro on the spine. And then we'll open it up. You do get a digital code. Ooh, there's something interesting. Hold on, guys. Hold the phone. Sony. I just complained about the interior artwork. They did interior artwork for Mask of Zorro. So why did they not do it for Air Force One? I don't know. And I have seen the sequel only one time. I've seen Legend of Zorro. And I saw it in the theaters because, again, I love this movie. So when that came out, it came out way too late. I think like 2004, 2005. I didn't like it. And I never returned to it. I would honestly be down for them doing a 4K of that one somewhere down the line. I'll revisit it, see if I change my opinion on it. But yeah, awesome that it has interior artwork. And I haven't got a chance to watch this one, so I can't do a real like proper review for this. But I did watch the 4K, you know, 3 years ago now when it came out. And that 4K had a great slipcover on it, which I'm so happy to have in the collection as well. But, you know, great interior artwork right there. So that's the Mask of Zorro, Blu-ray 4K, and you get a digital code. Now, I don't think that with both of these, and I know for a fact on Air Force One, you don't get any additional, like, special features, like audio commentaries or anything like that. So let me see. Yeah, Air Force One, You do get the director's commentary, so you get Wolfgang Peterson talking about the movie, and you know, with Mask of Zorro, you get 10 deleted scenes and theatrical trailers on the 4K disc, and then on the Blu-ray, you get a director's commentary, Unmasking Zorro documentary. Okay, so you get a documentary. I don't remember watching that with the 4K. Maybe that was on there, but I don't remember watching it. 2 deleted scenes and a music video by Mark Anthony and Tina Arena. Okay, I like me some Mark Anthony. I do. Okay, so let's get into the Arrow video release. And like I said, guys, I'll link both of those down below. So I did get Black Sunday in, and I can't remember when. I think this comes out next week. I think it comes out on March the 21st. It could be the 28th though, but it comes out sometime this month. Again, I will link this down below. But this is being billed as a disaster movie from what I've seen on the back. I wonder if it's some kind of like Hindenburg type disaster movie. I didn't really read too much into it. It says the target, the Orange Bowl Stadium. So this sounds pretty cool. This is one that I will probably end up checking out pretty soon. I may do a standalone review for this if I watch it. I may do some kind of like short review or something. I do want to try to start doing more of those. But this has Robert Shaw in it from, of course, Jaws. It's got Bruce Stern. So it's got a killer cast, and it's a disaster movie. And to be completely honest, I have not seen enough disaster movies from like the 70s and the 80s or the 60s, like back in the like old school disaster films like this and Towering Inferno and the old school like Earthquake. Like I haven't seen a lot of those movies. Like I love 90s disaster movies, but I have not, like the old school disaster films, I have not really gotten into. So this seems like a cool one. Love the feeling of the slipcover right there. It's a nice, not really glossy, but almost like a matte finish on that slipcover. Got a really nice slipcover though. I love the colors on there. Like this, to me, the Dunwich Horror was a good cover, but this might be in the running for like the second best Arrow video like slipcover of the year. Like this just feels really nice. But we'll kind of, you know, look at the back right there so you guys can see the synopsis. And then you got the special features right there. And you got the casting list, and you got the specs at the bottom. Trying to look into the special features here. You get a brand new audio commentary by film scholar Josh Nelson. It could be tomorrow. Brand new visual essay by critic Sergio Angelini, exploring the film's adaptation and production and its place within the pantheon of 70s terrorism thrillers. The director's John Frankenheimer, an hour-long portrait of the director from 2003, including interviews with Frankenheimer, Kirk Douglas, Samuel L. Jackson, Roy Scheider, Rod Sturger, and others. Are all those people aren't in this movie? They can't be. Like, that would be an amazing cast. Image gallery, reversible sleeve, featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Peter Strain. So yeah, Peter Strain did an excellent job on this artwork. This is some of the best artwork I've seen this year as far as on a slipcover. And yeah, this is, let's see, you get that new audio commentary, new visual essay. So at least you get some new special features with this release. Go ahead and take it out of the slipcover right there. Really cool. Like I said, I love that image. And I think no, it's the same image. Arrow's been doing this thing though, like with their slipcovers and taking them out. And it's like a very subtle difference on the actual case itself. They did it with the Vagrants. So I think that's kind of interesting. And then all the same stuff on the back. We'll go ahead and open this up. And you got some nice disc art in there. Looks like you do have reversible cover art as well, which we'll get to in a second. And let's see, you get a nice little Black Sunday booklet. Yeah, this movie looks cool. Like I didn't really read too much into it. And there you have Robert Shaw right there. For that you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing. Well, let's see. You get some images from the movie, and I love Arrow Video. These are like simple Blu-ray releases, you know, but they always include booklets and stuff in there anyway, even though it's not like a big box set. So I respect that about Arrow. And then you get a little, you know, card in here as well. This looks like a cool movie. Again, I didn't read too much into it, and yeah, 70s disaster film. That sounds pretty cool. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure. What year was this? Pretty sure it was in the 70s. Yeah, throughout the 1970s. And you got this kind of retro, like, newspaper reversible cover art. Almost is what that kind of looks like. So, good stuff, guys. Black Sunday looks pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. And again, this one will be due out pretty soon, either March the 21st or March the 24th. I will cover it on the Physical Media Report whenever it does come out, so stay tuned for that. And then we got, you know, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I got this as a part of the Shout Select sale. And yeah, this is one that I haven't seen. And this has got Steve Martin and Michael Caine. To be honest, I need to watch more Steve Martin comedies from the 80s. So happy to have this one in the collection. And I think this is the only one that I got that has cool disc art, reversible cover arts. So we'll flip this one around. And I like picking up the Shout Select releases because I don't have to feel bad about picking them up like years later, because most of them never came with slipcovers, because Shout Select just doesn't do slipcovers most of the time. So that's pretty cool. But you got the original poster art right there. So yeah, all of these, again, I did a whole video about it, guys. Pay attention to my deal videos and all the videos I do. Watch all the videos I do. They're informative, but they're also to help you guys as well, because Shout Factory had a big sale on Amazon like a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of these Shout titles were 10 bucks. So I jumped on the ones that I've been wanting to pick up for a while, like Twins. I have not seen this movie in like 20 years. I remember loving it when I was a kid, but I have not owned this Shout Select release yet, and I've always wanted it. But yeah, Twins, classic. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito. Freaking great release. And yeah, all these were like 10 or 11 bucks. Got some cool disc art and no reversible cover art there. And then 3 O'Clock High, which I actually watched this morning. And this is a movie that my buddy Garrett over at Born to Be Rad always talks about on his channel. He always says 3 O'Clock High, 3 O'Clock High is great. And I was like, what is that movie? And then he mentioned that it had the villain from Kindergarten Cop in it, the guy who played Crisp. And I'm like, I gotta check this out because that guy was awesome in that movie. And yeah, this was really fun. Again, I watched this morning. It's a Shout Select release that I believe came out back in 2017. And he's definitely a great villain. He's a great bully, but it has a good story to it. And it's kind of, it doesn't have like a full-on like heartfelt moment by the time you get to the end, but it kind of comes full circle. And it's got a nice little story to it about bullying and sticking up for yourself. And this bully like wants to fight him at the end of the school day for some stupid reason, like he touched his shoulder or something. So he's kind of like dreading that all day, and he has to kind of like find a way out of it throughout the school day, and he never does. There's a big fight at the end. I'm not going to spoil everything that happens, but it's a fun, very enjoyable 80s coming-of-age comedy, and I enjoyed this one a lot. So if you have not heard of this movie, 3 O'Clock High, I would recommend that you pick this one up. I got it for like 10 or 11 bucks in this, you know, Shout Select sale on Amazon, but really good. Got some cool disc art right there. And of course I picked up The Water Boy. How could I avoid this sale? This movie was on sale for, I need more 90s comedies in my collection in general. Like I'm missing so many, like Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler, like all the big ones from when I was a kid. I'm missing so many of them. And I need more in my collection. And The Water Boy was stuck out at me at $4.99. I was like, I need to pick up The Water Boy. And you went on there on Amazon and there was a $1 off coupon as well. So I ended up getting this for $4. Like, you can't beat that. Water sucks. It really, really sucks. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into my subscriber mail. I got 2 boxes here today. I've got one from Brian M that we're going to get into first. And then I got one from good old Ryan Nar, who's always supporting the channel and sending me fun stuff to unbox. All right, so let's get into this. This is well taped, Brian. And yeah, I realized the other day, I was like, I haven't been in my P.O. box in like 3 weeks. I need to head out there. All right, so we're in, guys. What do we got? What did you send me, Brian? As I rip through this, and it looks like I do have a note. Thank you for writing me a note. Ooh, this is a good one. Looks like a good one. Let's get into this. I feel so hot, right? My face is so red. What's going on? Hey Ken, been meaning to send you this for a while. Just wanted to make your blue box sequel look even shittier on the shelf. Anyway, now maybe you can give your opinion on which one you like best movie-wise. Also, I noticed you did not pick this up on the Vinegar Syndrome 10 for 10. Understandable, as it did sell out pretty fast. I already had a copy, but I couldn't turn it down for 10 bucks. Anyway, I hear it's good, so enjoy. P.S. Please feel free to use your current pull with Lionsgate to get them to get on dropping a proper 4K steelbook of House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects from Big Mix. I would love it if they did those in 4K. I don't think I have that kind of pull. I honestly should, since I won them an award. Like, they should listen to everything I say, to be honest. But thank you so much, Brian. Let me get into this. All right. We got, oh my goodness, we got House. Brian, I hate to break it to you, buddy. I do own House. I have got the House Arrow video. Let me tell you a story, Brian. House was the very first Arrow video title that I ever bought, because this is a movie that I remember from my childhood. Like, I watched it all the time. This and the second one. And I've seen the third one and the fourth one too. But this one and the second one, like, I watched all the time as a kid. So when I was looking online and looking at people like showing stuff off on Instagram, when I first joined the movie collecting community on Instagram, I saw somebody show off House with this cool artwork. I'm like, what is this? Arrow video? What's that? So House kind of, after I got this, I got into Shout Factory, found Silent Night, Deadly Night. House kind of got me into boutique labels, which is very interesting. But yes, I do have House on Blu-ray. But I can do some kind of giveaway on the channel at some point for this one. This looks like a region-locked foreign release, though. All right, let me see. Ooh, this has got a slipcover, and it's a Vinegar Syndrome. What is this? The Grave. Oh my goodness, The Grave. I do remember seeing this one in the Vinegar Syndrome sales. Is this a good one? This is a good one? What a nice slipcover, though. Like, Vinegar Syndrome always has good slipcovers. This looks like a VSA as well. So that's definitely cool. It's got this kind of like slip box, like VHS feel to it. Very cool. The Grave from Vinegar Syndrome. Thank you so much, man. I am like pretty much in love with Vinegar Syndrome at this point, so I will take anything Vinegar Syndrome. So thank you for sending that to me. But I apologize. I already do have House, you know, on Arrow Video. All right, so let's get into the next package. This is coming from Ryan Nahr. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. What are we gonna get? All right, hold on now. What do we got in here? All right, there's some good stuff in here. Hold on. I'm already seeing a few that I do not have on Blu-ray. Let's see what we got. We got the Jungle Book. The Jungle Book. I feel like I might have this on Blu-ray, but I also might not. I'll have to go back there and look. I cannot remember. But thank you for the Jungle Book. We have Crash from 2006, and this won Best Picture. I know a lot of people think that's controversial. It shouldn't have won. I remember liking this movie when I watched it, but to be honest, I have not watched it since I first watched it, like back in 2006. So it's possible it doesn't age the best, but I do not have this on Blu-ray. So thank you for sending that to me. I definitely needed that in the collection. The Power Kids. I haven't heard of this one. This is a magnet release, so I'm sure it's been at your Dollar Tree near you, but thank you. The Tourist. Angelina Jolie, Johnny Depp. I think I remember this, but I know I haven't seen it, and I know I don't have it on Blu-ray, so thank you. And Gone with the Wind. I do have Gone with the Wind in the collection on Blu-ray with a cool slipcover, a Warner Icons slipcover. That's my pickups, guys. I got a lot of cool stuff. I got, again, unbox those steelbooks, Arrow Video, Shout Select stuff, subscriber unboxing. I'm excited to watch The Grave. To be honest, I'm excited to watch The Grave. So thank y'all so much. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below on whatever you want to comment. I don't care. Turn on the notifications. Follow me on my social media accounts down below, and we'll see you next time.